Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So I'm not streaming at my normal time because the U.S. market is off. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. But you know what? I'm here to give you guys a warning. Yes, BlackRock's Bitcoin onslaught begins today. Let's talk about it. What kind of onslaught am I talking about? Well, let's do it. Welcome, guys. Again, hopefully you guys had a good weekend. I know some of you guys are a little bit fearful, feeling a little fuddish, right? Because Bitcoin is hanging around 42.4, 42.5, and somehow that's making some people uneasy. As if, we're back to 26,000 or 14,000. Well, we didn't even hit 14,000. You know what I'm saying. You know what? This is not time to be panicking. I don't get it, especially when the onslaught's coming. And I'm talking about onslaught of buying. So look at this, sentiment turns neutral post ETF. Bitcoin dips under 42. We're at 42, and I see in live chat, and so many people are turning bearish. This is why patience is a virtue, and why when you invest in Bitcoin and crypto, you got to have patience, because there will be down days. And here's the thing, it's not really down. We're just back maybe 2 weeks. We went back in time 2 weeks. And that's really it. We just reset for 2 weeks, okay? And here's another thing to remember. These big boys like BlackRock, they want you to sell your Bitcoin. They want you to panic dump as they accumulate, okay? You know why? Because they want to accumulate. BlackRock is now already a top 15 Bitcoin holder. In less than 2 days of ETF trading, they are now in the top 15 already after 2 days. Now imagine what's going to happen this year and next year, right? So it's in the best interest for some of these market makers or whales, right, to scare you out of your Bitcoin so they can accumulate more cheaply. See, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to accumulate when you can, when the market's down. You should actually look forward to corrections so that you can actually continue to buy in DCA at a low price. You don't want to buy and FOMO in when things are sky high. When Bitcoin recently hit 49,000, not a good time to be buying. Right now at 42,000, much better time to be buying. That's how it works, right? But some of these big boys, they know what they're doing. They've been around the block for a long time with stocks, with equities, with precious metals. Now, they may be doing the same thing with Bitcoin, right? I know the whales have been doing it. Whale games, I've always said whales do whalish things. They've been doing that for a long time. But now you got the big boys, the biggest boys on the planet that's coming in, and they may be getting ready to play some games like the ones they have been for 100 years in equities. But you know what? The onslaught's going to begin because of this. Because BlackRock and Fidelity and ARK and Van Eyck and Wisdom Tree and everyone else, right? They may be playing some games, but ultimately they want to get rich. They want to get really rich, richer than they are right now. So the onslaught, I'm talking about an onslaught of ads now, okay? BlackRock now released theirs. The others that we have seen have been more towards the millennials, right? More shorter for millennials with lesser attention spans and basically causing a little bit of FOMO. This one from BlackRock is certainly not that. In my opinion, it's way too long. It's a 2-minute ad trying to explain Bitcoin and why it's going to stay and why their ETF is awesome. Access, convenience, quality, right? So it's like, this is totally not a millennial ad or a Gen Z ad or whatever generation there is. This is definitely for the boomers, the ones that have been in the space for a while, maybe nearing retirement, right? This is an ad for them. This is the bread and butter for BlackRock. Okay, so they're about to pounce on these individuals who may or may not have a boatload of money, and they're trying to entice them in to Bitcoin spot ETFs, which will in turn cause more buying of Bitcoin, which in turn will cause the Bitcoin's price to go up. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen, and it's starting. When BlackRock releases a commercial, when was the last time you seen a BlackRock commercial of anything? Like, it doesn't, I don't think it happens. I mean, not that I pay attention to BlackRock commercials, but I just don't recall seeing a commercial ever from BlackRock. You don't need to put commercials, right? But if they're putting out commercial or ads about spot ETFs for Bitcoin, that means they're really serious about driving people in, driving the liquidity in. We're talking about billions that already came in, and it's going to be trillions over the next few years. Okay, so my point to this is the onslaught is going to come. Onslaught of buying, okay, and advertising and marketing. There will be onslaught of money flowing in. So this is definitely not the time for you to be panicking, for you to think, well, this is the time to be getting out. No, this is right at the cusp of the halving event, and at the cusp of the parabolic bull run that you've been waiting for years. We're right at the cusp of that. Okay, so don't be panicking. Don't be feeling the FUD. Continue doing what you're doing, which is dollar cost averaging and hodling. That's it. DCA and hodling. DCA and hodling. I'll say that forever. That's the only true strategy at winning at the game of investing, game of Bitcoin, game of crypto, game of anything. When it comes to making gains, it's really holding and DCing. That's really it. Buy low, right? And wait. Buy low and wait. Buy low and wait, and eventually sell high. That's it. As for Bitcoin's price movement, I mean, again, I said we reset back to like 2 weeks ago. And, if you zoom out, you realize that we didn't really go down at all. If you zoom out, you're just like, okay, we're still just, we're just going up like this. We're consolidating a little bit, right? And where is Bitcoin going to go? I think you guys know, based on what I just said, the massive accumulation, the massive liquidity that will be coming in, plus the halving event with inflation being cut in half, plus everything else that's going on this year. Bitcoin's going higher, a lot higher than where it is now, okay? 2024 is going to be absolutely fantastic in my opinion, but 2025, that's a parabolic year. So even though 2024 is going to be absolutely fantastic, 2025 is going to be even better. And just like all previous cycles, we're kind of mimicking them in so many ways. All the charters are trying to look at fractal patterns or looking at like Elliott waves or moving averages, and everyone is trying to predict where Bitcoin's going to go. I know where it's going to go. It's going to go higher. We're going to end the year higher than right now. It's as simple as that. Now, along the journey, there will be up and downs. And my Sunday walk video that I posted on Cryptos R Us Plus yesterday, hopefully you guys caught it, I talked about this. Every single cycle, you have massive volatility. You have times where you fall 25, 30, 35% during the parabolic runs. Does that mean the run is over? No. Afterwards, Bitcoin climbs up and forms a new high. And we haven't even really seen that yet. We have seen some small movement, 5 to 10% drops, but nowhere as bad as previous ones, right? Will we see them again? Probably. Or maybe they're less volatile now. They're more tame because the market is bigger and there's more people that simply refuse to sell. There's more and more holders, right? So maybe that's the reason. Maybe we won't. But I mean, even according to this Elliott wave, look at this. According to this person, right, our next move up could be to like $90,000. If we make a jump from 42 where we are to $90,000 in like a matter of a month or two, yeah, we're going to come down. We're not just going to go up forever. There will be breathers and consolidation, but profit taking, right? So that's a clear example. According to him, if we go up to $90,000, then what? We may fall back to about 50 or 60,000 and then continue forward. That makes perfect sense, just like previous parabolic cycles, right? But if we do fall from 90,000 down to, let's say, $60,000, does that mean the cycle is over? No, it does not, right? It does not. Just be prepared. There will be giant movements like this. As long as you're not too greedy, as long as you have cash on the side and you continue to hold on DCA, you'll be just fine and you'll ride this wave up to 200, 250, 300, $1 million. I don't know who this person is, but he's in this space and he's thinking we're going to hit $1 million in days to weeks. So I like to know what he's smoking because that's not going to happen. But he tries to make an argument that, yeah, it's going to happen because it's the most unlikely event that it's going to happen. And it's going to wreck a lot of people in a good way. Unless you're a shorter and then you get wrecked in a major way, right? But he makes a case about all the good things about Bitcoin and so forth, right? And I agree with them. I just don't agree it's going to happen days to weeks. But in the next 10 years, can Bitcoin hit $1 million? Sure, that's where it's going to go. If we top out at 200, 250,000, then the next cycle, I don't know how low we're going to go. The next cycle, we're going to hit $1 million for sure, right? So it's going to come. Again, it's a game of patience. Those who hold all the longest wins. And, you know, it's not just, of course, Bitcoin, right? Today, even today, with Bitcoin down to 42.5, you know, a lot of alts started climbing. BNB is up, XRP is up, Doge is up, Chainlink is up, you know, so and Bitcoin dominance has dropped even more. It's up here, it's at 49.9%, right? So it's not just Bitcoin going up, although Bitcoin will always lead the way. I truly believe that. Milos is asking about horse meat. I don't know what kind of meme that is, but that's a funny name. Anyways, a lot of people chart altcoin dominance, right? They chart Bitcoin dominance as well. And it looks like, you know, this is the time after the halving event. Not only do you get Bitcoin exploding, but you get alt also exploding. Interesting. And plus, let's not forget, I talk about how good 2024 is going to be, all the catalysts. Let's not forget that in the US, I know a lot of you guys are not in the US. I know that, but US, Wall Street leads the way, especially buying right now with crypto. Definitely North America and the US. Fed, who we all hate, no one likes Powell, and everyone thinks he's done a bad job. But, you know, then again, he worked with the tools he had. And he can't control inflation for real because the government, the US government, and governments around the world keep on printing more money. When you print endlessly, it's going to cause inflation. So the Fed and central banks around the world, they could do what they can with the interest rate, but ultimately, how you really curb inflation is by controlling the money printer, which no one seems to be doing, right? But anyways, inflation supposedly came down, so Fed rate cuts could be coming. And those of you guys that know anything about Fed rate cuts would know that that's when the economic activity of the country starts spurring up and everyone starts feeling good again and everything starts going up. Why? Because businesses can now borrow money at a much lower rate. They can expand and hire. More people have jobs. More people are making money. They're spending money. You know, it's a cycle, right? That's why when the Fed raises rates, it does the opposite. It tries to curb economic activity. But when you have rate cuts, that could be good. Very good. And that's coming this year too. It's guaranteed it's coming this year because interest rates are already too high. So that could be coming right after the halving event. I would say June, July timeframe, latest August timeframe. But I think it comes even sooner than that. Because, you know why? There's the presidential election. And if you look at history, every presidential election year, markets are blooming. I think that's on purpose because they want to make people feel good before a presidential election, right? So most likely rate cuts go come probably in I don't know, early summer of this year. Then the markets start exploding, and then we get a presidential election in November. That's, if I had to theorize, that's what's going to happen, right? And even though right now Bitcoin and crypto have 100% decoupled away from US markets, like it used to be like 100% correlated with the NASDAQ and S&P. These days, not so much. It's basically they move in different directions. But ultimately, when you have more economic activity, you have more people that are making money, that means there's more people willing to invest that money, and a lot of them are going to be putting into Bitcoin and crypto. There's no doubt about it. So that's a major catalyst for this year, right? 200 pounds of, I don't need 200 pounds of horse meat. All right, moving forward. So we got this, right? It's going to be a boom for everything. Fidelity thinks it's going to be a boom for DeFi and stablecoins and Bitcoin and everything else, right? But outside of Bitcoin, there's a lot of things going on. And also, there's a lot of hype about Ethereum ETFs. It got a little hot last week, then it kind of died down, but Ethereum is holding its gains above 2,500, closing at 2,600. In terms of search, it's at a 12-month high, but still really low compared to before. Can spur also more buying and give more attention specifically to ETH-based projects? Well, the answer is yes. It's already started happening, right? You do see like someone like Lido and Maker and Aave, and I got some other news. I mean, you see ENS, you see some of these ETH-based products go up, okay? And that could continue as there's hype building around Ethereum ETF. Although I don't think Ethereum ETF is going to be approved. It might come next year. I don't think it's going to come this year. If so, it's going to be very tail end of this year. Okay, I know BlackRock's application expires in August, but I don't even think BlackRock really expects it to be approved. I think they're just submitting just to see, give more pressure to the SEC. I think it's going to probably go to the next year, but still, throughout this year, you may hear about a lot of ETH ETF hype, and that could help the whole ecosystem in a big way. Right, like Aave, I mentioned right now, they're liquidity provider, lending provider for ETH, and many chains are cross-chain now, but they start on ETH. They're trying to integrate PayPal stablecoins, which I hear no one talk about. Not one person have ever asked me, "What do you think about PayPal stablecoin? Should I buy it?" Because it's silly. It's not gonna go up in value, right? So I don't see the point. But you know what's funny? Just thinking out loud. How come the SEC didn't go after PayPal for their stablecoin? They went after Paxos. They went after USDC. Why didn't they go after PayPal? I don't know. Just thinking out loud. You would figure, like a big fintech company in the US, you know, how come PayPal stablecoin is not declared as security by Gary Gensler? Makes you wonder. I don't have a good answer to that. I'm just thinking out loud. Again, so they're voting for that. And then you got others like Compound that's also that's in there, and then you got there's so many others, right? So they could all be doing very well. I've talked about last week about ETH doing their upgrade, this new improvement protocol that will help the L2s, like Optimism and Arbitrum. I think they're going to do well. Even Polygon's going to do well. And Polygon is still trying to get others to utilize the ZK EVM chain. They have enticed a few projects. They're really trying to get Yuga Labs to bring an ape chain on to Polygon using ZK EVM. And they're enticing them with a $3 million fund. I don't know why they want ape chains so badly, but maybe because they know that when the market gets hot, NFTs are gonna get hot, and ape chains gonna get hot. I don't know, but that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But Polygon is probably gonna do well because of improvement upgrade, but also they're moving towards 3.0 or 2.0, which should help them as well, right? And others like Sui. Sui's been skyrocketing despite the little correction downturn that we had. Sui is skyrocketing, and it's because their DeFi is exploding. Look at that chart. Look at that TVL exploding. $329 million. That's a lot more than a lot of major chains already, right? So Sui is another one out of the US, out of Silicon Valley. Another promising L1 out there, right? They got some projects from even Solana to join them. Solend, okay, is expanding upon Sui, and worth taking a look. Some people have asked me, people get confused between Sei and Sui. They're two different projects. One is more decentralized around the world from a governance standpoint. One is more based in the US, but still, they're both very fast, scalable, opposite of what ETH is. And they both could do very well. And lastly, for those of you guys that are Solana fans, watch out. Jupiter Airdrop is coming soon, end of this month. A lot of people made a lot of money when Judo, which is a liquid staking provider on Solana, airdropped its tokens. And a lot of people made a lot of money. So watch out. A lot of Jupiter is also another DeFi project within Solana. And they'll be airdropping soon. So basically, if you're going to get it, great. You could get a lot of money, free money from the airdrop. So just watch out for that. All right. Let's do this. Let's do Q&A. All right, got 6,000 people tuned in, and one person that keeps asking about horse meat on Solana. Lazaro also says in 2 days, Coinbase versus SEC oral argument on court. That could be a big catalyst too. I think Coinbase will win. SEC, they're taking nothing but L's these days, and I think that's going to continue. I don't think that's going to really stop. Gary bit more than they could chew. And they just decided to do an onslaught of lawsuits. And I don't think he realized that some of these companies suing has endless pockets, and they're just not going to give up and roll over, like Ripple, like Grayscale, like Coinbase. I think they're going to lose against Coinbase too. Injective is always hot, up about 6% today. Avalanche coming up. Bitcoin's coming up a little bit. ETH is coming up a little bit. Celestia is coming up. Right now, it's good. Mini recovery. Baby Elon, no. Read the article of Tether on Financial Times. I don't need to read it to know that Tether is fishy. I've said that for a long time. But I will say this. Many have tried to bring Tether down, and they have all lost. Every single time. I thought for sure years ago when the South District of New York sued Tether, and it looked really bad. Really bad. And ended up just being a slap on the wrist fine. And Tether still continues to operate. So, I mean, many have tried taking down Tether. It just won't go down. And they've used the time to replenish their collateral. So they have the money. And even when we have Black Swan events and people try to sell off Tether and try to, make them go belly up. I remember during the FTX crash days, there was like 3 billion, I think 3 billion or 5 billion worth of Tether being converted, and Tether never blinked. It never depegged from $1. So they're extremely strong now. But I don't trust them. I don't trust iFinix. I don't trust Bitfinex. I don't trust Leo Token. They're all connected. I'm not going to look at horse meat, guys. I'm not. The last Solana meme I got into is Myro. It did really well and came back down. But I'm going to just stick with one that I know. I'm not going to get ape into every meme. Proxy Grit, have you been looking into DePen project narrative that come across Syntropy, which seems unique and looks like a decentralized data layer streaming oracle? Wanted to hear your thoughts. You know what? I haven't. I don't even know what a DePen project is. Decentralized what? Pin? I don't know what that is. So it's just a data layer for Web3, multi-purpose on-chain data streaming oracle for applications. Online streaming oracle providing a decentralized scalable way to access, retrieve, interact with real-time data. That's just... Why do they need to say streaming oracle? It's just an on-chain oracle. It's just like it's a Chainlink or a Pyth competitor. They're just adding a lot of fancy words to make it seem like it's different, but... So you're basically asking, do I like Syntropy as an oracle? And my answer is no. Troll, 17K in 7 days. Those kind of numbers don't impress me. Because it could go down 90% in 5 minutes. And then see it wiped out. I told you guys. I FOMO'd into Jesus Coin. And literally 5 minutes afterwards, it dumped 50%. So all the gains, all the impressive gains just went away. With memes, all the stats mean nothing. It could go all away in a blink of an eye. You're just taking a gamble. If it goes up, you make a lot of money, great. Take that out. If you ride it to the moon. Sometimes you can make an enormous amount of money. Sometimes you just lose it all immediately. Luxo, I have given up on Luxo, but I know they're started by Fabian, who started ERC20 standard. They have their own new standard, and it took them forever to come out of the mainnet. I gotta say, they're holding at 350 million. That's not bad. All time. Wow. They surpassed their previous high. Or this is wrong, because I remember they were higher before, but maybe not. But yeah, the Fabian partner up with some fashion designer or something. So their X page was all about fashion before. I don't know if that's the case anymore. Maybe they changed. Yeah, I don't know if it's her. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, this seems more like a blockchain X page. Like back in like a few days ago, I mean not a few days ago, a few years ago, if you would scroll through Luxo's X, it's all about like fancy clothes and art shows and all this stuff. So I'm glad to see that changed. I don't know. I'll keep my eyes on it. I have not paid attention to Luxo for a long time. Jerry, I appreciate that. TJ, I have no idea what Real Low Network is. Am I bullish on VeChain? Yes, still I am. Midas, what kind of name is that? Coco, the talking and singing African gray parrot. What a name. Yeah, Midas looks interesting. Headed by Vitalik's mom. Why don't layer 1 projects partner with real life corporations so they can use certain coins to buy real life products? Not so hard. It's tough. It's easier than it sounds because a lot of these corporations, they don't want to get involved with crypto. They don't want to get involved with L1 and utilize their coins. That's the truth because they're afraid of getting in trouble or they don't see enough benefit to it. Over time, that's going to change for sure. But, you know, it's not as easy as it sounds. Like ETH, you know, they could go to whoever and say, hey, you know, why don't you partner up with us and start using ETH? Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Say, taking a breather, but still, they've come up a big way. Last month, 200%. Another one to keep your eyes on, and a very promising L1. CFT Cash Flash, just based on that name, I want to say no. And that logo. Will we see a pump tomorrow? We could. We could even see a pump today. Look at that. The George effect is in. Having a good recovery. You know what? Like I said, the onslaught is going to start. Okay. This ad from Blackrock, it's obvious that he didn't memorize it. He's reading a teleprompter, which is kind of disappointing. I think Blackrock could have afforded a real actor that can memorize lines. But, you know, when BlackRock starts doing commercials, that means they're serious. That means they're real serious. They're serious about growing their ETF market share. They're serious about increasing their Bitcoin holdings. I mean, they're serious, right? So whatever happened the last few days, whatever dip, whatever FUD that you may be thinking, just ignore it. Just ignore it. This is going to be a fantastic year. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't let people tell you that we're going to go to and form a new low or it's over. No, it certainly isn't. Great Wall Limitation Cross. Okay. Is there a coin called EOS? EOS. Yes, there is. It's kind of dead. Kind of dead. They're trying to rebrand with a new team. It's not going very well. Am I still bullish on Cock Inu? I still hold it. I don't know if that's considered bullish, but I'm still holding it. It hasn't really moved all that much recently, which is a good thing. It didn't dump and pump. It's just kind of holding. Still waiting. Can you recommend any MEV coin for ETH? That doesn't even make any sense. I don't know what you're asking. Can C reach, or say, reach 20 billion market cap? this cycle. 20 billion. That's about a little bit more than 10x. By the end of this year, I think there's a chance, an off chance. I think it could reach like 10 billion, 10 billion pretty easily. 20 billion, I say off chance. It is really cold. It is really cold outside. It's negative 10 degrees where I am right now. I mean, it is. I've experienced cold before, but like, man, when it's this cold, you can't get used to it. You go outside and your face literally like freezes in like 10 seconds. It's so cold. Hey, George, I have now printed a photo of you and added to my girlfriend's teddy. Any thoughts how I should react? I don't know how I should react based on that comment. I, I don't. Johnny, I'd like to know where you live, where it's negative 30. I kind of have a hard time believing that. Unless you live in the Arctic or the very peak of Canada. BlackRock made houses unaffordable. BDC is next. I don't disagree with that. I mean, it sounds horrible, right? I mean, because BlackRock, when they enter something, they kind of want to dominate and make a ton of money with it. That's what they're going to do with the Bitcoin. So that's why you got to ride this wave up. I'm not saying BlackRock is good by any means. Long term, I think BlackRock is horrible for Bitcoin. But short term, there's no doubt they're going to be driving in massive amount of liquidity into this space. And those of us that are in it, we're going to ride that wave up. It was negative 33 in Buffalo over the weekend. I don't care about what happened before. I care about right now. What degree is it in Buffalo? Yeah, people are adding wind chill and stuff. No, just like real temperature, not wind chill, not like what it feels like and all this stuff that weather people do. What is the actual temperature in Fahrenheit? Okay, if you're in Canada, I would believe it's like negative 30. Like if you're close to the North Pole or South Pole, yeah. In Finland, I guess. But are you looking at Celsius or Fahrenheit? Because if you're in Europe, you're probably looking at Celsius. All right, let's do Celsius to Fahrenheit calculator. So if you're at negative 30 in Celsius, negative 22. That's pretty cool, I think. Right now, I think it's negative 10 and minus 23 Celsius. Last night, it got to negative like 14 or something. Man, today's going to get even colder. Anyways, whatever it is, it's one of those days I wish I was in, San Diego or Miami or somewhere warm, not where I am. Pith is going to kill Link. I don't know if it can, but it may try. But Link is just so far ahead of everyone else, not just from a market cap perspective, but if you look at usage, Chainlink is just so much bigger. I mean, it's not even close. San Diego is freezing too. It's below 50 degrees. Don't make me laugh. Don't make me laugh. It's funny. Is one of my guys, Scott, he was saying he lives in Houston. He's like, oh man, we might drop to 27 degrees. I'm gonna have to go wrap my pipes. like, I'm like, you don't need to wrap no pipes at 27 degrees. What are you talking about? In Chicago, it's like minus degrees all the time in winter. I don't know. I guess in Houston it's just different. Are Sand and Mana coming back? I don't know. I think they will. Just go take a little bit longer. I don't hear anyone interested in metaverse. People are interested in games, but metaverses, I don't think so. That's just a crazy drop right there. But can they come back? Yeah. You know why? Because look at where they were before the pump. About the same price as right now. They were about like 60s, 70s, right? Before they started pumping. So can we see the same thing happen in 2025 where did this go parabolic upwards? Yeah, it can happen. You just may have to wait a little bit. Joseph says, I'm in Houston. I can confirm we wrap our pipes in this freeze. Our pipes are made for heat, not cold. Pipes are pipes. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way you guys insulate your houses or something, you know? Maybe a lot of the pipes are exposed outside the house. I don't know, but that just seems kind of silly. Anyways. Matt says, how would you diversify 5K in crypto? Asking for Fred. You know what? First of all, I'd probably hold half in cash right now. Even I know a lot of people just say, I want to put 5K or 10K. Tell me how to do it. I would hold about half in cash in case there is a longer downturn or another downturn so they can get in. And then with the remaining half, so about 2,500, you know, I follow the 50, 25, 25 rule. Put some into Bitcoin. And then put some into some big caps, and then put some into everything else, right? I'm not going to tell you exactly what to put it in, but if you pay attention, you've been watching my DCA portfolio, you'll know the promising ones out there. But you never want to skip out on Bitcoin. In terms of the big caps, I like Solana a lot. I would throw Avalanche in there. Cardano, you could throw that in there. Chainlink, Polygon, you know, these are fantastic big caps. And there's a lot of good mid caps too. A lot of good mid caps. Jermaine, I'm in Houston. How do you protect pipes from bursting? Just curious. I don't know. Are you trying to test me? I'm no plumber, man. What I learned is you keep the water running. You know, a small little stream or dips from your faucets. As long as the water is running, it's much harder to freeze up and have the pipes burst. That's what I've been told. I don't know about anyone else, what tips they have, if you wrap it or whatever. I don't know what people do in Houston, but no one wraps anything here. Oh, I guess that's a good one. I thought that was a joke at first. Doug is saying open the cabinet doors. Because I guess if you open it, more heat from inside the house goes in and warms up your pipe. But I don't think that makes a lot of difference. What do you think about cactus? Is that cactus or cetus? Cutis? No, cetus. Is that a SUI network? Their DEX? Swap, earn, build. Liquidity protocol. Not available. Unfortunately, even a lot of DeFi, they don't allow US people to go in. So it's tough. Like I can't check it out. But if SUI and Aptos and all these L1s continue to do well, they'll probably do well too. 52 degrees here in LA. Weather closely follows the price of ADA. That's a unique way to look at it. Is there a way to cash out a fully diluted token, AVAX Classic? What are you talking about? That's probably a rug pull. Never heard of AVAX Classic. All right, guys. I think that's it. Enjoy your day. Bitcoin doing a little recovery. The entire market doing a little recovery, even though Bitcoin dominance is coming down. A lot of alts are starting to come back. A little bit. That's good. But overall today, I just want to say, don't fall for the FUD. It's that easy. This is not time to be falling for the FUD. This is not time to be panic selling or getting fearful about what's to come. This year is going to be absolutely fantastic. Let's not forget the halving event is only 3 months away. Let's also not forget that Blackrock and these big boys, they're big holders now of Bitcoin, and they will continue to accumulate, and they're going to bring their onslaught of ads and marketing and buying power to the space because they want to dominate. And BlackRock is starting with their own ad. I know others have come out with ads, but they're irrelevant. BlackRock coming out with a 2-minute ad about their IBTC shares or IBIT shares. That sends a strong message to everyone. Everyone's going to be doing the same thing. Anyways, so don't be left out. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one. Take care.